A boy stands in the middle of a dusty square. He can't stand up straight. His legs won't hold him right. His boots are too small, and his bare toes push through the leather. He holds out two letters like they're the only words he knows. It's Whit Monday, May 26, 1828, Nuremberg. The streets are empty because everyone's out celebrating in the beer gardens. A shoemaker named George Whiteman is the only one who sees him. The boy can barely speak. He mumbles a few words. He hands over the letters and waits. One letter is addressed to a cavalry captain named von Wessenig. It claims a Paul Laborer found the boy as an infant in 1812, raised him in secret, taught him to read and write and pray, but never let him leave the house. Never let him be seen. The second letter, supposedly from his mother, says his father was a dead cavalry officer, and that the boy wants to become a horseman just like him. The boy is maybe 16. He knows almost nothing. He can write one thing, his own name, Kaspar Hauser. He's taken to a tower cell at Nuremberg Castle. He eats only bread and drinks only water. Meat makes him sick. He plays with 3 wooden toys, a dog and 2 horses, and seems to love horses more than anything else in the world. When a policeman hands him a coin, just to see what he'll do, he says one word. Horse. He tells people, slowly, over weeks, what the room was like, small. Dark, damp straw under his hands. He couldn't stand up straight in it. He couldn't lie flat either. The silence in there was so total it started to ring in his own ears. When he finally steps into daylight after 16 years, his skin reacts like it's never felt sun before. Maybe it hasn't. He never heard another human voice, he says, except once. Someone teaching him to write his name and walk a few steps, right before they let him go. Nuremberg becomes obsessed with him. Scholars study him. Crowds gather at his cell window just to look. Part of it is pity, part of it is something else. A feral child, raised outside every normal rule of society, is a blank page, and a blank page is dangerous, because everyone wants to write on it. Some see a saint. Some see a prince. Some see a liar. Kaspar stops being a person and starts being a mirror, and the whole city keeps staring into it, hoping to see its own reflection stare back. A professor named Dormer takes him in, tries to educate him, tries to bring him into the world. Kaspar draws. He learns fast. He tells stories about the dark room, the wooden horses, the silence. Dormer even runs experiments on him, testing whether Kaspar can sense things ordinary people can't. He holds a magnet near Kaspar's stomach. Kaspar says he feels a pull, a current of air moving through him, stronger from one end of the magnet than the other. Nobody can explain that either. For a while, it almost looks like a happy ending, but just as Nuremberg starts treating Kaspar like one of their own, the shadows of his past, or maybe the shadows he built himself, come calling again. October 1829, a locked house. A blood trail that leads nowhere. Dormer finds him in the cellar, bleeding from a cut on his forehead. Kaspar says a hooded man attacked him in the outhouse. Says the man told him, "You still have to die before you leave the city of Nuremberg." Says he recognized the voice, the same voice, he claims, that once led him out of the dark room and into Nuremberg in the first place. There's a blood trail. It runs through the house, up a floor, back down, through a trapdoor into the cellar. Whoever attacked him, or whatever happened, it left a mark, but no one is ever caught. Nobody explains why an assassin skilled enough to vanish without a trace would leave his target alive. Rumors start moving faster than facts. Some say Kaspar is the lost prince of Baden. That a royal infant was swapped for a dying baby in 1812, hidden away for 16 years to clear a path to the throne for someone else. Some say the letters were written by Kaspar himself. That the handwriting matches too closely, that the captain named in the letter wasn't even stationed in Nuremberg back in 1812, the year the letter claims to be written, which means whoever forged it made a mistake only possible in 1828, the year Kaspar actually appeared, a fake dated to a year that doesn't work. And the case keeps claiming people. Anselm von Feuerbach, the judge who became Kaspar's fiercest advocate and wrote the first serious account of his life, dies in 1833, months before Kaspar himself. Some who knew him suspected poison. No autopsy confirms it. Just another name added to a story that seems to swallow everyone who gets close enough to answer it. He moves again. Ansbach this time, under the care of a judge, funded by an English lord named Stanhope who half believes, half doubts the whole story. December 14, 1833, Kaspar goes to a park, the Hofgarten. Cold enough that his breath hangs in the air. Snow underfoot, the kind that swallows sound. Someone told him he'd finally learn who he is, and he can hear his own heartbeat in the quiet. Waiting, a stranger meets him there, hands him a small purse, and stabs him. He staggers home clutching his side. Man, stabbed. Knife. Hofgarten. Gave purse. Go look, quickly, his guardians go check. They find only one set of footprints in the snow. Inside the purse, a note, written backward, in mirror writing, so it has to be held up to a mirror just to be read. It gives the attacker's initials, and claims Kaspar will be able to describe how he looks. But pause on that for a second. Why would a killer's confession need a mirror to be understood? Why would a dying man's last piece of evidence be a riddle instead of a name? Was someone protecting an accomplice, or was this the final scene of a story Kaspar had been writing about himself all along? Kaspar dies 3 days later. Here's what doesn't fit. Lord Stanhope, who knew him well, counted 20 separate reasons to doubt the whole account. The weather that night was bad, and Kaspar hated walking in bad weather. His description of the attacker's mustache changed from fair to black, only one set of footprints in fresh snow, his own. Some who knew him thought the wound was self-inflicted. A performance that went further than planned. And there's a detail that complicates everything. In 2023, dermatologists examining historical accounts of Kaspar's body found scars consistent with cowpox vaccination, standard practice in Bavaria from 1807 on. Someone brought him to a vaccination site as a child. Someone who wasn't supposed to exist, caring for a boy who was never supposed to leave a room. Feuerbach himself, the man who staked his reputation defending Kaspar, started to doubt him too. After his death, his family found a private note in his papers. It called Kaspar a scheming rogue, a good-for-nothing who ought to be killed. Whether Kaspar ever knew his greatest defender had turned on him, nobody can say. For over a century, people believed Kaspar Hauser was Baden royalty, hidden to protect a line of succession. In 1996, scientists tested DNA from a bloodstained shirt against living Baden descendants, no match. In 2002, a second test, using hair and different samples, left the question open again, close but not conclusive, and in 2024, a broader genetic study using mitochondrial DNA ruled the royal bloodline out entirely. So maybe he wasn't a prince, maybe he was exactly what some Nuremberg officials suspected from the start, a boy who invented a story so strange, so pitiable, that an entire continent chose to believe it. Or maybe he really did spend 16 years in the dark, fed only bread and water, taught nothing but his own name, and paid for it with his life the moment he got close to the truth. His gravestone in Ansbach reads, in Latin, "Here lies Kaspar Hauser, riddle of his time. His birth was unknown, his death mysterious." Nobody proved the sell, nobody proved the fraud. Nobody proved the murder. 2 centuries later, all 3 explanations still stand, side by side, none of them strong enough to knock the others down. Kaspar Hauser remains a ghost in the records. If he was a prince, he was a victim of the highest order. If he was a fraud, he was one of the greatest storytellers of the 19th century, but maybe the reason he still haunts us, why people are still arguing about him in 2026, is that he represents a deeper fear, that we are all just one story away from being a stranger to the world. If this kind of mystery gets under your skin, there's more where this came from. Subscribe, hit that bell and share it with a person who loves to mysteries without an end. So tell me, was Kaspar a victim of the dark, or the architect of his own legend? Stay curious. Stay weird.